Welcome back. I'm joined today by three experts to discuss the issues of the day that are of interest to me. We've watched my first guest grow up before our eyes on the hit television show 2.5 Men. Say hello to Angus T. Jones.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a real honor to be here. Turn off this piece of garbage now and get right with God.
Why would you do that to my show?
I love this show. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. My next guest spends much of her time as a member of Team Breezy, Chris Brown's Twitter fan base, when she's not hard at work as a parole officer in the state of California. Please welcome Melissa Greinecke.
Hi, thank you. Team Breezy. I did this to myself.
You did?
No.
And my final guest is the mascot for Twinkie's Hostess's Golden Filled Cream Snack Cakes, Yum, Twinkie the Kid. Hi, Twinkie.
Hey, Brian. It's been a rough year.
Yes, it has, hasn't it?
Whew!
Yeah.
Real rough.
Tough times, tough times. Let's talk about something that, is in the news right now. There's this Powerball lottery, $579 million jackpot. I think two people won it in Missouri and Arizona. All the statistics, all the reports show that the lottery is basically played by people who are either unemployed, undereducated, or poor. I mean, not all people, but there's a huge disproportionate number. Is the lottery fair? Is it a tax on bad choices or stupidity, Angus?
Yeah, well, I mean, any kind of behavior that's not, attending seminars at this church I go to is a shameful. It's essentially just like urinating all over yourself. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even really get into like who does it or anything like that. It's just like, don't do things. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything but go to the church that you go to.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I would really hesitate to call anything a bad choice or stupid. The last time I did that, the outcome wasn't good for me. So I wouldn't tell Chris Brown that he's making bad choices, and I wouldn't tell lottery winners that they are.
And you're a probation officer.
I'm Chris Brown's probation officer.
You are Chris Brown's probation officer? You're kidding me.
Yeah, I just saw him.
But also you're a member of Team Breezy, his Twitter.
Oh, hey, Team Breezy.
Is that not a conflict of interest?
Nope, I'm fighting for him. I'm rooting for him.
And how's he doing?
He's doing great. We had a weird misunderstanding earlier, but everything's coming up Chris Brown.
Oh, great.
So,
fantastic.
Team Breezy.
Team Breezy. Twinkie, what do you think? This lottery, I mean, is it a tax on stupidity? Is it something that, is it morally unjust to put this out there for people who are not of the means to be spending this money?
Well, Brian, at the risk of offending my base, because it's mostly the poor and uneducated who eat Twinkies.
Oh, sure.
If they'd only spent that money buying more Twinkies, I'd be fine. I'd have a job. Instead, they go out and buy that stupid ticket. I'm right there next to the machine. I'm sitting there in my little shrink wrap package. Just pick me up. Just buy one less Powerball ticket and get yourself a Twinkie. You ain't gonna win. You always win with a Twinkie.
Angus, did you play the lottery?
I did, and I won, and the lottery is still an institution that's just the great Satan's, way of stealing money from your pocket. But I will take the money.
So you made a ton of money in the lottery?
Not on this Powerball drawing, but in the 90s, yeah. When I was very young, my grandma would buy me tickets and stuff like that, and she's essentially no better than a prostitute. But we did win a couple times, $1,200, $1,500, and that money spent, I will tell you.
Let me ask you this. What would you do if you won $579 million?
Well, I would stop being Chris Brown's parole officer, I'll tell you what.
You can do that.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't leave him.
I can't. How could I leave him?
Well, you could just ask for him to be transferred to someone else.
No, I can't. There's something about him.
Twinkie, what would you do with $579 million?
I'd self-invest.
Of course.
Yeah, but I'd do something along the lines of like the Green Bay Packers. I'd make it sort of like a group ownership deal that everybody could be invested in the American product that is Twinkies.
Because they are heavily invested in this American product already. That's why a lot of us are heavy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't want anybody to get diabetes, but Twinkie every once in a while, never hurt anybody.
No, I go to you a lot of times for comfort.
Well, that's nice to hear, darling.
Yeah, when my outsides are bleeding or swelling, I like to fill my insides with something sweet.
Okay, on that cute note, we're going to take a short break. This week's sponsor is constitutional expert Shane Krauser, author of Your Nation to Save, a line-by-line explanation of the Constitution. Mr. Krauser lectures and teaches all over the country through the American Academy for Constitutional Education. You can check them out at aafce.com, where you can order a copy of his book and learn more about his speaking engagements. We'll be right back. Is everything okay with you?
Everything's great. Thank you. Breezy.
And we are back with Angus T. Jones,
Repent.
Melissa Greinicke, and Twinkie the Kid. Let's talk about women in the military. There's been a lawsuit on behalf of female soldiers who would like to be in the front lines, who want their right to fight alongside the men. Angus, what do you think about women serving in the front lines?
Well, I mean, they're really sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because on the one hand, they really should be allowed to serve in the military, you know, be afforded the rights of all men. But they are born women, so, you know, they're going to go to hell. So, you know, it's
Now,
like...
why are they going to go to hell for being...
Well, it's, you know, the temptress and the sin of Eve and stuff like that.
Oh.
It's obviously... So I don't envy them. I don't envy them that. But if you want to fight and kill somebody else before you need to go and yourself be gutted, you know, at the altar of God, you know, I say,
Okay.
have at it. I don't know.
Melissa, what do you think about women in combat?
I think it's great. I think every woman should know how to take a punch and keep going. So.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's about that.
I think that is.
No, I think it's more about, you know, women having an equal opportunity to fight in a war.
I don't know how I feel. I'm breezy about it. Team Breezy.
Twinkie?
Oh God.
You are a damaged person. Brian, I'm a pacifist.
Okay.
My blood is cream. Cream runs through these veins, so I don't really get hot-blooded about much. I just prefer to bring everybody home, put a Twinkie in their hand, have them.
You want everyone to be satisfied.
That's right.
So none of you are actually against women being in the front lines, because there are arguments. There are pro and con arguments. I mean, there are logistical arguments maybe, and also you know, men. Let me. If you're fighting in the front lines,
Sure.
and you saw a woman, you know, injured and needed your help, would you risk your life even more so than you would for a man?
Oh, sure. I mean, you know, part of my personal philosophy is to give for others. So if I saw a woman hurting like that, I would go to her and I would try to explain to her, you know, that, like, you know, rap music is a sort of like AIDS for your brain, you know.
Don't say that.
What, I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
Don't say that.
Yeah, I mean,
You can get in a world of hurt if you say something like that.
I mean, I think it'll be all right. I'm pretty much untouchable.
Melissa, what do you think? I mean, would you think a man would act differently toward you on the front lines?
That hasn't been my experience, that a man has treated me differently. But yeah, I don't know. If I could do it, I'd probably have to hide behind my desk or something. But
Not a lot of desks out there in the
yeah,
front lines.
that's true.
I
It's
imagine.
probably not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twinkie?
Well, I guess I'd have to say that with the advent of more advanced military technology, the ideas of physical limitations for a woman is a small ceiling. I think that at this point it's an even playing field, and with the fact that so many wars are fought from a boardroom miles away, that sure, put them on that front line.
You know what? For a guy with cream for brains, that's a very nice analysis.
Thank you.
But from an emotional standpoint, let me ask you this. I mean, you're on the front lines, you see a female Twinkie go down. Are you more likely as a male to risk yourself for this female than you would a male Twinkie?
Well, I would believe that if it were implemented, then you just have to see a comrade as a comrade, whether they're a ho-ho or a ring-ding or a Twinkie. You're all in it together.
That's fantastic. Okay. That's it for this week's BS of A. Please join us next week for a brand new episode. Like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, and if you're on MySpace, it's time to take a good hard look at the choices you've made in your life. I'm Brian Sack in New York. Good night, America, and stay in school, Team Breezy.
Woo!
No offense.
Oh, was that a knock?
It was.
Oh, I just heard Team Breezy and I wooed.
Right. No, I was slamming them.
Well, you should.
High five.
I get slammed a lot, so
Oh.
I get it.